However, with the news of Drew Brees, he has fractured ribs and a collapsed lung. You know, you got to hope that he comes back strong and healthy.
Yeah.
But you got Jaemis, the W-eaten
So what I'll say about that
starting.
is Jameis just has to win enough games so that New Orleans finishes with either the same record as Tampa Bay or a better record. Like he doesn't need to win out.
Right.
They just need to be tied with Tampa Bay to take that division. And I think they're talking about, like, I don't know, I think it's a month for Drew Brees or something like that. So
probably.
I mean, that's why you bring in Jaemis Winston. He's a starter in this league. He throws a lot of picks, but like in a Sean Payton offense,
he throws a lot of picks, but he throws a lot of touchdowns and like 5,000 yards a year.
Yeah, so I think Jaemis is a starter in this league, and I think this is better. This is a better team than the teams he had in Tampa.
Mm-hmm. Jaemis to me is like also better running back support.
And learning behind Drew Brees has probably been so huge for him.
Jaemis to me is like Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. Kind of that combo of like big passing yards, big playability, but like gunslinger to a fault sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's two very all-time guys to compare someone
He's
like
got
him to.
all the talent in the world.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He has extreme arm talent. He has ability to make plays. He can he's a surprisingly good runner with the ball too when it comes down to, you know, making something happen on his feet.
Well, and it's like I've been a Jameis guy since he won the Heisman at Florida State, right? Like he's just such an exciting guy to watch. He's like must-see TV because he's either going to throw an amazing touchdown pass or like the worst pick you've ever seen.
Right.
And maybe that's kind of like out of his system now, working with Drew Brees. Like maybe he's like learned how to see the game a little differently.
Right.
And if that's the case, then he's going to get a huge contract from someone this year. And this is Jameis's chance to kind of showcase and be like, hey, like you guys all wrote me off.
Right.
But this, like, I'm still a legit quarterback.
Right. Well, honestly, if I was a coach, I would personally rather have a guy who could uncork it and had the confidence to do so, but then reel him in and be like, okay, we can throw slants all day to Michael Thomas. He's not going to have that long developing concepts like Bruce Arians, which makes guys susceptible to throwing picks.
I think it's going to be interesting to see, because last week we talked about how Sean Payton has been catering his offense to his guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how the offense changes now that Jameis is in the game as opposed to Drew Brees.
Definitely.
There's like exponentially more arm talent now.
100%. So yeah, I really think they're going to reel him in a lot by like getting the ball into Alvin Kamara's hands quick.
Yeah.
Jet sweeps with Taysom Hill to minimize the mistakes and really set up those big plays. But when it's time for the big plays, like they're going to make them happen because Jameis can make those throws, right? But I think he's going to reel them in with a lot of shorter, developing, quick hit stuff. Let the playmakers make plays quick with the ball.
And like, I know this is an unlikely scenario, but what if Jameis just kills it? What if he just is lighting it up? Do you think they stick with Jameis over Drew Brees?
I don't think so, but I think then...
Or like going into next year?
Going into next year, I think then that becomes more of a conversation. You have to you have to have the respect for Drew Brees going forward. It's not like a Drew Bledsoe thing where it's like, oh, you've gotten to a Super Bowl. It's like, no, you've given your heart and soul to New Orleans. You've won a Super Bowl. You've fought back through injury. You've gone through horrible years as a team. You know, the symbolism that he has with the city, with Hurricane Katrina and everything, there's so much weight that I think they wouldn't be able to make that move based off of a good stretch. If this was week 2 and he killed it for 10 weeks, I think that's a different thing. But even with Teddy Bridgewater going 5-0, that wasn't enough for
that's true.
them to
and
move
it's not
on
like
from
they
him.
were losing with Drew Brees either.
Right.
It's not like they were like he was holding them back.
Right. But I do think it is more likely that they would roll with Jameis going forward than it would with Teddy, because I think they see Jameis has a lot more potential and talent than Teddy Bridgewater did. So that's why they let him walk. They're like, you've done us good. You've had talent, but we're going to get someone else for that number 2 spot. We're going to let you do his thing. But yeah, I absolutely think, like, And I don't think Jameis would want to leave New Orleans if they were going to give him a decent enough contract to stick around.
Even if
really
they're like
shows out.
one more year as the backup before Drew retires, and then it's your job. I think he stays then too.
Probably. I don't know what kind of contract he has.
He's on a 1 year like minimum right now.
Right. So yeah, you get him to 2 year. Give him a 2 year deal. I do think if they win the Super Bowl this year, Drew's got to be done though.
I would think so. Yeah. Especially after this type of injury, like he has like 5 cracked ribs and a punctured lung. It's like
he's getting old. He's not what Tom is. He's taken a lot more damage than Tom Brady has in his career, I think.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. So make sure you guys check in Saturday morning for the preview show, and we'll be giving our picks for Famous Jameis. But